Welcome to The Explainer. When we think about retirement, we usually focus on how much we're saving. But what if there's more to the story? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on something called the income gap, a hidden hurdle a lot of people face. And then we'll look at a really interesting strategy designed to tackle it, one that aims for growth but without all the usual market risk.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a big question, one that really gets to the heart of it all. Are your retirement savings working as hard as you are? I mean, you put in the hours, you sacrifice to save, but is that money pulling its own weight to build the future you're dreaming of? It's something we really need to think about.
All right, first off, let's get one thing straight. If you're already saving, putting money away consistently, especially if you're using an employer plan like a 401k, you're on the right path. Seriously, you've already built a solid foundation, so pat yourself on the back. You're doing a lot of the hard work already.
But, and this is a big but, even if you're doing everything by the book, there's often this common challenge, kind of like a blind spot that traditional planning can completely overlook. And it's not about how much you save, it's about the structure of the plan itself. And honestly, it can have a huge impact on the kind of lifestyle you actually get to live later on.
So, what does this blind spot create? Well, this is what leads to something called the retirement income gap. And it's a really common problem, but the tricky part is most people don't even realize it's there until it's almost too late.
This image here, it shows it perfectly. Just think about your retirement income being held up by these two main pillars. You've got Social Security on one side and your pension or 401k on the other. But here's the catch, especially for professionals. Those pillars were never designed to cover 100% of your income. They leave this huge, kind of scary gap in the middle that your personal savings are somehow supposed to fill all by themselves.
And just how big is that gap? Well, believe it or not, it can be as much as 40% of the income you'll need in retirement. Let that sink in. 40%. That is a massive hole to fill, and it puts an incredible amount of pressure on your personal savings to make up the difference. Okay, so that brings us to the real question, right? What do you do about it? This is where we find a huge opportunity to optimize. And listen, the goal here isn't about having to save more money, which is a relief, I'm sure. It's about making the money you're already saving work smarter, more efficiently, to help close that big gap. And here's where we can find that smarter money. Think about your 401k. Your employer probably offers a match, right? Well, a lot of us contribute more than that match. And that extra cash, the part that's not being matched, that's the sweet spot. That's the money that could potentially be working a whole lot harder for you somewhere else, since it's not getting that free money boost from your employer anyway.
So, let's check out a different approach that our source material lays out. It's called an index strategy, and it's designed specifically to give you a shot at growth while being super focused on managing your risk.
Okay, now this graph is where it gets really interesting because it shows you exactly how this works. See that purple line? That's the S&P 500, the stock market, going up and down like a roller coaster. But the green line, that's the index strategy. It goes up with the market, capturing some of those gains. But look what happens when the market tanks. The green line just stops. It flatlines. It doesn't go down. You don't lose money. This is what they call the ratchet effect, and it's pretty cool. Basically, when the market has a good year, your gains get locked in. They ratchet up and stay there. But in a bad year, you hit a floor, a 0% floor. That means your money is protected from those nosedives. You literally can't lose your principal or past gains because of a market crash. You never go backward.
So, what are the supposed benefits of doing something like this?
Well, it really boils down to a few key things.
The big one is reducing that scary market risk, but it also aims to be more tax efficient in the long run, and you still get to access your funds if you need them. All of this works together to help you build a more predictable stream of income when you finally retire.
Okay, theory is great, but let's look at some actual numbers. We've got a case study here from the documents we looked at, and it's based on that exact idea we were just talking about. Taking that non-matched portion of your savings, in this example, $1,000 a month, and putting it to work in this index strategy instead.
So check out this table. It really shows what can happen when you combine those consistent $1,000 a month contributions with that never go backwards zero loss floor. After 20 years, that money could potentially grow to over $380,000. And by the time you're 65, we're looking at a potential of over $920,000. Not bad, right?
But here's where things get really different. And it's all about taxes. With your typical 401k, yeah, you contribute with pre-tax money, which feels good now. But guess what? You have to pay taxes on everything when you take it out in retirement. This strategy flips that on its head.
You use after-tax money now, but the goal is for the income you draw later to be potentially 100% tax-free. Think about what a massive difference that could make to your actual spendable cash in retirement.
Phew, okay, we have definitely gone through a lot here. So let's just take a second and boil it all down to the main takeaways.
I think the most important thing to remember is what this quote says. This isn't about throwing out what you're already doing. Not at all. It's about taking a closer look at your savings, finding that one piece, your non-match contributions, and asking, could this part be working smarter for me? It's all about optimizing for better efficiency, less risk, and a better tax situation down the line.
And just so we're all on the same page, we want to be super clear. Everything we've talked about today, the concepts, the numbers, all of it, comes directly from materials put together by a licensed pension and retirement specialist. So this isn't just some vague idea. It's based on a real, structured financial strategy.
So, we'll leave you with this final question to think about. If you could shield your hard-earned savings from those terrifying market crashes without having to give up the potential for growth, how would that change the way you plan for your future? It really makes you think about the balance of risk and reward in your own plan, doesn't it?